You're listening to the Happy Tracks podcast. In this episode, I dive into the one thing you need to do in order to be a better you. This is an episode that needs to be heard. Stay tuned. Hey, I'm Taylor, founder of the travel blog Taylor's Tracks, personal development junkie, and pursuer of happiness. I help women have breakthrough experiences so that you can live a happier and healthier life that is so good you won't need a vacation from it. I believe that happiness is an inside job, so this podcast is dedicated to delivering weekly actionable tips that combine spirituality, personal development, and well-being practices that will help you live your best life, find pure joy every day, and realize your true power. Are you ready to meet your best self? Let's get started. This is the Happy Tracks podcast. Hello, beautiful, wonderful people and souls. I am thrilled, as always, to have you here. And I am especially excited for you to listen to this episode because this one thing that you need to get comfortable doing is not easy, but it needs to be talked about. It needs to be something that people become more aware about. It's probably something that you need to become more aware about as well. It's something that I sure as hell don't like doing, but I do it anyways because I know what is on the other side. I know how important it is. And by the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly why it's so damn important. But first, before we start this episode, I would like us all, wherever you are listening to this, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. But if you're somewhere where you can close your eyes, do that now. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to do anything crazy. Close your eyes, take a deep inhale in through your nose, and let it all out through your mouth. If you need to do that again, if you are feeling tension and a buildup in your chest or anywhere in your body, remember to come back to your breath, and it will always help you let things go. I did this because there are so many things in the world right now that seem to be screaming for all of our attention. There are so many voices that want to be heard. There are so many different things that we need to know, we need to learn, we need to support, we need to stand up for. Things we're being told we need to do. So let me start off with saying, you don't need to do anything that your soul is not being called to. But if you're feeling guilt, anxiety, if you're wanting to run away from social media and how heavy it is right now, because that's what it is, you can feel energy. These emotions that are coming up, that are building up, they're all energy. You can feel that through a screen. You can hear it in someone's voice. You can see it in a video. Energy can be felt everywhere. And right now, it's really, really heavy. So if you're feeling off, if you're not feeling particularly if you're not feeling particularly productive or efficient, or if you're just feeling off and not quite like yourself, it's okay. This is why I am making this episode right now. This is why, as a white person, a privileged white person, I am going to do my best in this episode to connect what is happening in the world between COVID-19 and all of that mess and what's happening with the Black Lives Matter movement right now. I am going to do my best to connect this to the well-being industry, to spirituality and personal development. Because as I started to acknowledge my feelings, as I started to speak up, as I started to do my own research and look into things, I realized that as a leader, as someone with a voice that people listen to, I had a responsibility to make this connection for people, to help people not push it away. So while this whole episode is not just dedicated to the Black Lives Matter movement, because I know there are people out there who hear this and want to turn away. I know this because I was one of those people just a couple of days ago. So, to kind of introduce how this whole topic, how this one thing that you need to get comfortable doing came about, I'd like to share a little bit of a short personal story. I've been going through some own things in my life, which I'm not going to get into. There are things that I'm exploring, things that I'm learning to heal, deep stories and beliefs that I have that have been bubbling to the surface lately that are just a lot. So I got a message from myself, a download, whatever you want to call it, that I needed to just turn inward and be by myself and listen to myself. My card for June also so happens to be my tarot card that I pulled, the Hermit, which is someone who just turns inward and listens to themselves. And, well, look at that. First day of June, that's what I felt like I needed to do. So I brought myself to my family's second home that I am so lucky to be able to have the space to go to truly be by myself. I was on social media very little. I only went on to post things that I need to post. I didn't engage. I didn't scroll. I talked to almost no one other than my sister and my dad and my mom, just for some basic things that they needed. And I shut everything off and I just got freaking quiet. So this was a Sunday, when I went back online on Tuesday and saw all the black squares, I was like, oh, the internet here is so bad. Like, look at, nothing's loading. And then I started reading the comments and realizing that this movement was taking a stronger stance and using social media to get it out even more so to the masses, to show its importance even more. And then I started seeing all the people already yelling at each other to stop using the hashtag Black Lives Matter. And all I felt was so much anger. Instantly, my anxiety went up. Instantly, my guilt went up because thoughts started popping into my head. Oh shit, do I need to share a black square? Should I share a black square? Do I stand with this movement? Do I not? Of course I stand with this movement. I'm a good person. I support all of humanity. But yet something was telling me not to post a black square. It didn't sit with me right. That's not to say that I don't stand with the movement. It was just a gut feeling. Yet I still continued to feel guilty and I still continued to feel anxious. And I started exploring these emotions, because your emotions, they're just energy in motion. They're just there to tell you something. They're showing up physically in your body to tell you something. So I needed to sit and unpack what those emotions meant. The next day, the animal spirit card that I pulled for myself was the black egg, which represents speak your truth. And I was like, I needed a card to help me figure out that I needed to speak my truth. And then the thoughts started coming up of, I am terrified of saying the wrong thing. I am scared of being attacked by people online. I am so worried about people judging me if I do or don't post or say anything. Those emotions made me uncomfortable. I did not like them. I don't know who likes them. So let me first start off by saying that your emotions, as a white person, I don't know what race you are, what color you are, where you're from, I don't care. We're all one. I'll get more into that later. But to the white people out there, your guilt, your shame, your anxiety, your worries, they're all valid. But let me ask you, are you going to let your emotions and your fear dictate your actions? Yes or no? You always have the choice. And no, you do not have to speak up. You do not have to take a stance. But recognize what that says. Recognize the emotions and feelings you're having. Get deep into them. If it takes you a couple days, a week to figure it out, that's fine. And for people of color, if you're Black and listening to this, you don't need me to tell you that your anger is completely valid. So back towards the white people who are on the other side of the oppressed. Know that it's totally valid for everyone who is oppressed right now to have anger. Don't get angry at them and fight them with more anger. But what really irked me, what really fired me up to get online and talk about this, to get uncomfortable and post some Instagram stories about this, were the white people fighting other white people with anger. You screaming and yelling at someone and telling them to go check their privilege is not doing anything. They're just getting scared of you. And when someone's scared of you, they don't want to listen to you. Don't be the scary one. Be the goddamn role model. Show that person who needs to be educated how it's done. And maybe I'm preaching to the choir here. Maybe you're learning something in this episode. Maybe you just need a refresher on this. That's okay. So to bring this all in to what the topic of this episode is, the one thing you need to get comfortable doing is to get uncomfortable. That's what I said. You need to get comfortable with getting uncomfortable. Me finally speaking up on a topic that I am far an expert from. Talking about a topic that makes me nervous, that makes me really uncomfortable that I'm going to say the wrong thing, but recognizing that I needed to get uncomfortable in order to learn and in order to grow, that's what this episode is about. What's on the other side of being uncomfortable is growth, is education. Getting uncomfortable is part of the learning process. And if you're someone who is listening to this podcast, if you're someone who is spiritual and into personal development, you know that growth is not always easy. It is always simple, but it is not always easy. And no, getting uncomfortable is not easy either, but it is necessary. It is absolutely necessary in order for you to grow, in order for you to become a better you, in order for you to be and help create a better world. Because you can choose to sit back and contribute to the state that the world is in right now. But I don't think that's you. I think you're someone like me. I think you're someone who wants to be a leader. Not wants. You're already a leader. If you're leading one person, if you're inspiring one person, you're already leading. You're already being a role model for all of those around you. And if you're stepping up, and if you're getting uncomfortable, you're showing others that it's okay to get uncomfortable and to do the hard work that it's necessary to learn. So are you someone who's going to stand back on things that you care about? Or recognize that things that you may not necessarily care about enough or care about at all, but still choose to see how contributing to the effort is going to make the world a better place. The more you learn, the more you grow, the better you become as a person, and the better you can do. Always. Always. Isn't that so powerful? Isn't that a way for you to empower yourself and other people as well? And when you're empowered, what does that leave you with? Happiness, joy, bliss, strength. All those really good feeling, high vibe emotions. I don't want to sit here and put pressure on you to go out and speak on behalf of something that you're not passionate about. So I encourage you to tune into yourself, to listen to yourself and see what you need to say. See if this is something you need to speak your truth about. For me, that was the case. I was feeling anxiety, I was feeling tightness in my chest, I was feeling an uneasy stomach and so much guilt and shame because my body was screaming at me, girl, you need to talk about this. Because how am I supposed to sit here? How am I supposed to continue posting on Instagram being such a strong, independent feminist and demand for equality if I'm not standing up for everyone else and demanding equality for everyone? Because that's what feminism, I can't speak today. That's what that's what it is. Oh God, being able to laugh at yourself is a good thing as well. You guys know what I'm saying. But that's what it is. It's demanding equality for everyone. So my body was telling me, oh girl, your actions and your thoughts are not lining up with your true beliefs. Speak up. And as soon as I did, as soon as I got uncomfortable and realized that me being uncomfortable and my emotions, as valid as they were not an excuse for me to not do and be better. Because when I do and be better, when you do and be better, you're being the role model, you're inspiring, you are leading by example. So where are you willing to get uncomfortable in your life? Where are you willing to ask yourself the tough questions. Where are you willing to stand up and use your true, authentic voice for what you believe in? Or are you choosing to just be comfy, cozy, exactly where you are? Because you know what doesn't come exactly where you are. You know what doesn't come when you're comfortable. Those high vibe emotions. When you get uncomfortable, when you push through, when you do the necessary work, your reward is happiness and joy and bliss and all those really amazing emotions that I get all bubbly and excited just saying them. And I know you can hear it in my voice or see it in the video if you're watching this on YouTube. Being comfortable. While it's okay to be comfortable at times, does not get you very far. Can you be happy in the present moment just as you are? Yes. But getting uncomfortable gets you to even happier moments. As humans, we are meant to grow. We are meant to thrive and try things and learn. We are not meant to stay in the same place and be all comfy, cozy all day, every day. You know how complicated our minds are. We got a crazy cool brain that we don't even understand everything about yet. You think that was created by evolution just for you to sit looking pretty and cozy? No. So I challenge you, if you need a journal prompt from this episode, question, where can I get uncomfortable in my life? Where do I need to get uncomfortable in my life? Where is being comfortable holding me back? Because yes, being comfortable can hold you back. I hope this episode has served you. I hope that it has inspired you to take a stance for whatever it is, whatever cause you believe in. Because in a lot of ways, a lot of things are connected. Whether it is you want to fight racism, or what I feel super strongly about, sexism, poverty, or hunger, you have a voice and you have the choice, the option to use it. How are you going to do so kindly and compassionately? And where are you willing to get uncomfortable so that you can be the best version of you, so that you can inspire others to be the best versions of themselves as well? Change always starts with you, from the inside. From the inside, always. You change yourself on the inside, you change your beliefs. That influences your actions. Your actions influence others. You were meant here to do, or you were put on this planet, you crazy, beautiful person, to do great things. We were all put here to do great things. It's time that you step up and do what your soul is calling you to do. Whew. Take another deep breath if you need to. That episode was a big one. And I hope you feel a little bit lighter after that, knowing like you have some steps to help you. I will be sharing on my Instagram stories any resources that I come across or personally use or are recommended from other people for the Black Lives Matter movement. I will be there to help support you in your mental health. So let me finish up by saying that your mental health is also still important. If you're going on social media and are recognizing that it's too much for you, yes, that is privilege. But also, it's okay if you want to take a step back and take a break, if that's going to help you protect your energy and preserve it so that you can use it to do and be better afterwards. You can't always be fighting. You need to recharge and take care of yourself and do your morning routine and drink your tea, whatever it is you need to do to feel high vibe. That is okay too. No one's telling you that you have to fight all the time. No one's telling you that you can't take care of yourself. So, if you loved this episode and believe that it needs to be heard by someone else, I so greatly appreciate you sharing it and love it when you tag me. Take a screenshot and tag @Taylor'sTracks, share it to your Instagram stories, or just pass it on to a friend or family member who maybe needs to understand their white privilege a little bit more. Oh, and I also wanted to mention that I do have something coming out soon. Something along the lines of being feminine, being fierce, feeling empowered, how to get over being your own inner critic, and how to use that feminine energy and power you have inside you already to achieve and accomplish, do and be whatever it is you want. So, if that resonates with you, send me a DM. I'd love to hear from you. And keep your eyes and ears peeled here and on my Instagram stories. It's going to be juicy. You're going to love it. As always, I so appreciate you listening, and you can find more content on taylorstracks.com or on Instagram @taylorstracks. And this week, remember, change always starts with you. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'll talk to you next week, you beautiful, beautiful soul.